Welcome back, listeners. In our previous podcast, we dived into strategy and operations that every business entrepreneur should know about. And we discussed how important it is for a company's growth and scaling up. Today, we are going to dive deep into sales, marketing, and branding. And we have with us today an expert in this field. Please allow me to introduce Mr. Mahmoud Ayoub, who's a experienced sales and marketing training manager with over 25 years experience in the pharmaceutical industry. You must have started very young, Mahmoud. Mahmoud holds a BSc in Science and Marketing Management from the American University of Beirut and is a certified NLP practitioner from Helford 2K in the United Kingdom. He has worked with industry giants such as Pfizer, Merck Sharp and Dohme, and GlaxoSmithKline from England, leading learning and development of thousands of employees. Mahmoud, as a mentor at the Darwaza Center for Innovation Management and Entrepreneurship, is a distinguished lecturer at the Lebanese American University. He is also recognized with multiple awards for his excellence in teaching, leadership, and product launches. His expertise spans sales excellence and leadership, marketing, negotiation, and communication, and he has delivered numerous training workshops across the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Europe. He's been a member of the American board of NLP since 2008. Thank you, Mahmoud, for being with us today.
Thank you, Sami. It's my pleasure.
Also with us today is a very successful businessman, Mr. George Alam of Eddress. And I'd like George, welcome George, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our audience.
My name is George Alam. I'm the CEO of Eddress. I've been in the technology industry for 15 years. I'm a software engineer, but I have a very high interest in business. I've graduated from Australia, where I spent most of my career, and I've been back in Lebanon for the last 6 years, where I've ran multiple startups, and now I'm running Eddress.
Okay, can you tell us what does Eddress do?
Yeah, definitely. Eddress is a software solution. It was built on the idea that grocery and food delivery can be optimized in a way to offer customers the best experience possible. So we've built a system that allows a very streamlined experience for the customer for ordering, placing their grocery and food orders, and also the back office management tools that the business needs to run this operation, from order fulfillment to the delivery and delivery fleet management. And we sell this as a SaaS service, as a subscription. And we are currently operating in 17 countries. We have clients in 17 countries. Most of them are grocery and food delivery businesses.
So your customers are businesses. So your business model is basically B2B, business to a business. The name Eddress, and when you think of Eddress, you think of an address. So can you tell us what's the history of this name, and if there has been any shift in your operations?
Definitely. So Eddress is electronic address. So this is when the company was founded in 2015. The idea was it wanted to digitize addresses in countries where we address street names and building numbers are not defined and delivery is difficult. So we wanted to digitize it in a way so logistics companies, delivery platforms can easily get to the end customer. And we wanted to provide the end user with an alphanumeric code that they can live with for their entire life.
Wow.
Where they can just pin their addresses, and then this code can be used with delivery platforms to get the
So this is how Eddress started?
Yes.
Digital address for
Can I ask him a question?
Sure.
So basically, when you provide the service, you provide the service to the entity that's selling, or the entity who, like a delivery company? So, or is it both?
So it's both. So
Okay.
we have two products. The main product that we have is for the businesses, because usually in food and grocery, the businesses deliver themselves. They don't outsource the logistics part. And then this is one product. The other product we have is a fleet management that's specifically designed for logistics companies and the delivery companies.
Like Wakilni.
Like Wakilni, like Liban Post, like we have a lot of on-demand logistics companies that today are operating in.
But the first product is more, you for instance sell it to, I don't know, Fakhani.
Exactly. So this is like a business. Take for example Carrefour. They have their own ordering platform. They own the delivery fleet.
Okay.
So our system can fill in the whole operation from the order being placed to the order being delivered to the customer.
Can I dig a little deeper?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry,
But
I'm
I'm curious
interrupting.
about Wakilni. Wakilni is another participant in the Triple S program. Is it just a coincidence? I mean, were they, one of your earlier customers, Wakilni?
They were one of the first customers Eddress had.
Oh, okay.
Before our big pivot in 2018.
Okay, so you pivoted in 2018.
We pivoted again. So actually we pivoted two times.
Okay.
So you, just a little bit technical dive, and then I promise I will not do that again. So you have to geocode every business, and therefore you assign them. You have your own geocoding system that has nothing to do with like the postal service or anybody else.
Correct, but this we kind of put this on the back burner, this project itself, because when we created it, Google Maps and the likes were not very mainstream.
Okay.
So there was a need for something to fill this gap.
Okay.
So our idea was exactly as what we have today in Google Plus and in Google Maps Plus, where they assign an alphanumeric code for every location in the world.
I see.
But then when Google Map became mainstream, this project itself became kind of redundant, and we pivoted to other things like a fleet management system and the food and grocery delivery platform.
Sorry.
I don't know if you were aware, but before joining AUB, Dr. Bijan was in the industry, and he co-founded a startup which is specifically about maps and addresses, and it was sold to Google Maps, and that's where he made his first million, Dr. Bijan.
Yes.
Right?
Million LL.
I do actually know the story.
You know the story.
Yes.
Okay.
There is one issue I found here in our Lebanese ecosystem is that a lot of people don't believe that they can do something with their ideas. So that's why a lot of ideas are created and they die very quickly because they just don't believe they can get somewhere. And this is probably where a program like the Triple S can shed a light on this topic, saying that you can grow, you can scale, you can push, you can make it everywhere like any business in the world.
Okay.
Good point. I like that point. Thank you.
You had another startup sold to Arcadis, also was about addresses. And
Yes. Well, that's a large company, but that's a different story. We'll come to that. But I
That's
just
the
wanted to
second
figure
million.
out this thing about the geocoding. Now I understand better, because I was thinking that's a big overhead for you to do your own geocoding. Thank you.
As our session today is about marketing, sales, and branding, I want to see you tell us a little bit about your industry and to what extent in a B2B model, marketing and sales are important.
Look, when we think about our customer, we think about the end user who's going to use our solution, not the business we are selling it to. Because our goal is trying to make life easy for the person, the individual placing the order and interacting with the business so they can adopt the solution and enjoy it and become repeat customers. And this is a big challenge for us to always understand the trends in the market, what is changing in consumer behavior, especially that we went through the unexpected period of COVID, everything changed, then after COVID things changing again. So for us as a business, we have to quickly adapt to changing consumer behavior, so we can adapt our technology so our customers, who are the B2B businesses, the businesses, can grow with their customer base. So we need to offer them something that allows them to grow. And this is a big challenge for us to overcome. And it's making marketing more about not what the product does for the business, it's what the product does for the end customer of that business. And this is a challenge.
Quite interesting. Your product has been sold to 17 countries outside Lebanon. So how was marketing and sales important in this expansion outside Lebanon?
Okay, our initial expansion was because of some success stories that we had. So we had a very big success stories with Gorillas in Germany, which was one of the leading quick commerce grocery delivery businesses. So we provided them their technology, and because they were so successful, they grew to a valuation of over $1 billion in 6 months.
Wow.
Everyone wanted to replicate the success of Gorillas, and to replicate it, you need a system that allowed Gorillas to grow, and that system was us. So we became a kind of the go-to company in this industry. So we were getting referrals, word of mouth from most of the customers that we have today. So that growth from word of mouth was kind of easy because it came to us. We didn't have to put a lot of effort into it. But then growing beyond this period, because it died off after a couple of years, growing after this period became the challenge. And this is where the program was interesting for us, and the work that we've done with Mahmoud on your storytelling, about your messaging, about your marketing, about your sales strategies, became very important for us to really realign what we were doing with a mindset of growth. Before, we were just thinking that word of mouth will always be there, and then we realized it's not. So we had to figure out new ways of marketing, new ways of telling our story, about reaching customers. And this is something that we have implemented in the last 6 months. We've changed a lot in our approaches, in our messaging, in our value proposition. How do we portray our value proposition to our customers? And I was happy to hear yesterday from someone that saw one of our ads that he said to me that it's one of the few times where I see an ad that's clear about what it sells and who it targets. And it took us a while to get to the point where we know what we need to market and what we need to push.
Mahmoud, I want to ask you, as you see, the business model is basically B2B, and he mentioned storytelling, he mentioned word of mouth, he repeated it several times. So from a marketing perspective, what would you advise a company like Eddress, who's B2B, specifically with the storytelling and words of mouth, which you've mentioned throughout the course several times?
Yeah. Exactly. Storytelling is a way to make your product or your service more memorable. Research suggests that up to storytelling can increase the ability of your customers to remember what you're offering by 22 times, and 2,200%. This is very essential when you are trying to market yourself, because you want them to remember you. This is very important. What makes really
to remember the name, remember the service,
the name, what are you offering, why should we pick you, what makes you different. All of these can be incorporated within a story and within your positioning. This is why storytelling, what makes it very effective. Why is it very effective? Why does it make this memorability so pronounced? It's because of its structure. We humans, when you look at a product, you have two options. Either you leave it as it is, as a robust, solid, frozen entity. When I mean frozen in time, or you can make it into a story which is fluid, which flows, which is not frozen. When you want to incorporate a product into your life, by that I mean to buy it, because when you buy it, you are taking it in. It's more effective if you make it the same nature of your own life. What's your life at the end of the day? It's a story. It's not a solid frozen entity. So incorporating this flow of the story, enrich your own story, the story of the customers, the life story of the customer.
So what story what story should Eddress, for example, say to their customers? Is it the history of the company, the pivoting they've done, the number of years?
Usually the story.
The restructuring, what story?
The story has 3 phases. This is what we recommend. Those phases, like any story, a story has to have a hero, like every story in the world. What really makes storytelling in marketing and branding so pronounced is that the hero in the story is not the product himself. It's the customer, or the customer, as in the case of George.
So the customer of
The customer.
his customers, the
or-
end user.
Yeah, the end user.
The final.
That's the hero. This hero will go through phases. And that's how you should construct your story. First phase is hero, his life before meeting your product, before meeting your service. And that's a life where you should highlight the pains, the difficulties, the obstacles, the hardship that this hero is facing because he doesn't have your product in his life.
So the delayed delivery of the items requested by the end user, for example,
Maybe.
that's a challenge that a customer might face.
Maybe not being able to make the product reach the end user, or delays that happen, like you said. There's always a pain, a difficulty. That's the life of the hero before the product. Then the second phase of the story should be when the hero is getting to meet the product, getting to see the service. That's where you try to tell him, to give him promises about what it will incorporate into his life. That's where you share the features, the benefits of this product that it will bring into your life. That's the second phase. And the last phase, we call it the life of the hero after using the product. Okay. That's where you should portray in the story to paint a picture where this hero emerges as a victorious, as someone who is living happily ever after incorporating, after using the product, by depicting the transformations that will happen to the life of this hero by using this.
So it's before and after.
Before,
should it be subtle the way we talk about the product, or it's a direct message?
It depends.
In the case of Eddress, for
it depends on the phase. For the phase before the product, the focus is on the hero, on the difficulties, on the pain points, on the hardships, on the obstacles that he's facing. With the product, that's life with the product. As he's getting to see the product, that's where we focus on the product itself. Features, benefits, what it will do for you, the testimonials, the case studies, the data you have about it. And then the third phase, you go back to the hero, to focus on the hero himself, because you are trying to depict the transformations that happens to his life. So it's more like hero, product, hero. User, product, user. That's how the story should go. That's the structure.
Dr. Bijan, what do you think about the storytelling?
I love this approach, but I'm curious, can George connect the dots for us a little bit? So before and after, one aspect of the marketing, and after talking to Mahmoud, what kind of changed in your mindset, on the ground, whatever? Just tell us a little bit, because it would be great to see in practice.
Yeah. So if I take you through the process that we went through for multiple years in our messaging and our marketing. We started as a platform specifically for grocery delivery. And we had good success there, and we had a good story to tell. And then we decided that we want to become the e-commerce platform for everyone. Okay, and this put us in the mix with a lot of the giants of the industry and like the Shopifys and the others, and our life became much more difficult. So now our story is much simpler. We are the platform that's been optimized for the best experience for the user ordering grocery or food. Okay, and what we promise our customers is that we reduce the friction that you have with your customers. So we give them the best shopping experience on mobile, for them to place their orders with ease. Okay, so this is how we evolved our story from being the e-commerce for all to the e-commerce specifically for this industry that we know well, that we build the product on, that we also understand ourselves as team members, as management, industry that we really understand, that we monitor, we know the changes. We know the impact of the changes that are happening. We know the economical impacts. We know the psychological impact that users go through, which allows us to offer this really frictionless experience for the users.
So I love the way you discussed the fact that it allowed you to do more of, I would say, a laser sharp focus on exactly which part of the industry you're focusing on. But I really am curious, what do you mean by friction? What is it? And like, for instance, is it the location of the buttons? Is it What is it? Just explain to us. One example.
So in technology, this is something also that's missing in the region a lot, which is the user experience. We focus a lot on the user experience. We do a lot of user research. We do a lot of UX studies about how a typical user wanting to order food or grocery will interact with the app. What do they go on? What buttons they click? What sections they don't click? And we, based on this, we create journeys that it's optimal, kind of indirectly guiding the user into utilizing the solution in a certain way. So we make it quick to place order. We make it quick to find products. We don't overwhelm them with things that they might not need. To give you one example, one of our competitors on their home screen, they have about 22 elements between buttons and banners and things like that. We have about 10. Okay, while we're still producing the same output, so the people are finding the products, and the average they spend in mobile, it's about 3 to 4 minutes to place an order per user. So we take this metric very seriously. We work on making sure that within this 3 to 4 minutes, how much can we push the user to order? How
so
many
less
products?
buttons is better? Less
In
buttons.
some cases, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Less icons.
So
less.
typically in shopping, it's people tend to go to search. So they search what they want. They don't browse what they want. They search what they want. So we monitor these metrics to provide the best experience possible for this industry. Each industry is different. So we tried furniture. Furniture is different. People don't like to buy furniture on mobile. They want to see it on big screen. They want to see the detail of what they are buying. If they're buying artwork, if they're buying things. So we are convinced today that what we are building can cater for this specific industry very well. Now with a great understanding of our end customer.
I like that. So can I just continue 2 more
Right.
bits? One bit is that, so can I say something like you're reducing mental strain that I have when I'm doing some sort of mobile shopping? Is that accurate?
It is, and,
Okay.
and even to add more to that, we are trying a few things today to gamify the grocery and food shopping experience, to make it even much simpler to fill your basket. Because one of the biggest challenges that the industry is facing today is with very low average basket value. Because people tend to go do their main shopping in the supermarket and then do their
Physical
one-off
for the main shopping.
online. So now the challenge is how do we replicate the experience people are getting in the supermarket on the mobile device? Okay, so we are experimenting with a lot of things that worked in other industries, see if it works for us, to reduce this the mental strain that users have. We don't want you to think. We want you just to say yes or no.
So can you connect that to something that kind of you heard from marketing and stuff, or what? How did you come to that conclusion? The mental strain is the issue here.
Look, we studied a lot of the numbers that are coming out in the market in our industry. What are the challenges? Why a lot of online grocery businesses are failing? Why food delivery is failing? Okay, and we've always found that there are two elements to this. One is the increasing operating cost, and the second one is the low average basket value. Operating cost is dependent on the country where you are. In Europe, it's expensive. In Africa, it's cheap. This is something that we cannot control a lot, but we can control one element of it, which is the optimization of the delivery, of the routing, making sure we consume less fuel and things like that, which we also have something that's being built today to reduce fuel consumption. And the second part, that we can control, is how can we increase basket value. Okay. We can do it with technology. Definitely technology is the main driver for this, how we simplify the experience, how we simplify how customers find the product, how we can personalize what the customer sees on the mobile app. We don't want it to be a static mobile app. We want to show them things they are interested in. We need to classify people in a way based on their purchasing habits. If someone buys nappies and milk, they most likely have a baby, so they need to see promotions about baby products. They need to see categories of baby products. If someone is used to buying milk every 3 days and bread every 2 days, we should learn and understand this through ML models to try and give them a personalized experience. And this is what the trend that's coming up in the next 6 to 8 months, where if you're gonna take 2 shopping mobile apps, the same app on 2 different people, you're gonna see 2 different home screens. It's not gonna be one for all. Each one's going to see something that's relevant to them. Even if you're a new customer, they can predict which category you fit in and show you things that you might be interested in.
Amazing.
So your decision making is simpler.
I want to go back to word of mouth because you've mentioned it several times. Sorry, I'm asking again. You used word of mouth initially, or you leveraged it, but then you said you stopped. Word of mouth was not getting you the results. So what would Mahmoud tell George about word of mouth in his particular case, where it's a B2B, and it's not only for Lebanon, it's also for outside Lebanon. They are outside Lebanon in how many countries? 17 countries. So is word of mouth relevant in this particular case as a strategy for marketing and growth?
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely. Sure. Word of mouth has traditionally been dependent or reliant on the solid, spontaneous recommendations given by existing customers to recommend or to refer their friends, their family members, their colleagues. That's what's been traditionally effective. And it's been very effective. We know that according to marketeers, it's one of the major things that give validity to the purchasing decision. Yani when I want to decide whether to buy a service or a product, and someone tells me, well, I tried it and I've had a very positive experience, and this guy is related to me, this would definitely increase, validate this service or product. Much more than what we call the brand-generated content, or what they are claiming, the people who are selling. So it is effective. It's very effective. The question now is, how can you turn it into like a workable system? Yani where it will leverage your use, because it's very limited to how many people you know and your existing people who are using it, your existing customers. Now, how can you really make it give the extra push to you?
Especially
you have to.
When you're growing outside Lebanon, now how can you use word of mouth?
Exactly. That's where you should put there like systems to incentivize already existing customers who already have you. You have to encourage them to be like ambassadors to you, to encourage them to talk about you. And this can be done by putting some programs, like loyalty programs, programs that really give rewards, discounts to those people who refer people to you, or other customers to you. When you put such a system with this incentive, you definitely take the maximum out of it.
Today, what's your main marketing media?
I want to comment on what Mahmoud said first, then I'll answer that question. Sure. One thing that we realized with word of mouth is that our success story that we had generated a lot of interest. And then even the employees of that company, when they went and wanted to create their own companies, they came to us because they've worked with this. But then we realized that word of mouth is not exponential. So the reach is not exponential. Like even something that was presented in the program as well. This the visual about word of mouth. It doesn't, like if you tell one person, that person is not going to tell two, and that two is not going to tell four. So eventually, it's not going to grow to get you the growth that you would expect. And this is also, it was a good realization, because it makes you think that this is going to end somewhere, and I need to figure out other ways to reach customers.
Right.
And this, for us, this went on now social media marketing. Okay, interesting enough.
So now it's social media marketing, your main.
Yes, we tried a lot of avenues. We tried a lot of different platforms. We marketed on LinkedIn, which we thought is the place to go to get people, business owners or entrepreneurs who want to create something. But we were wrong. Actually, most of the leads that we get today are from Facebook.
Wow.
So we pushed a lot on our Facebook marketing, which is working, and Google Ads marketing. And this is where everything is coming from. And we started finding some partners and resellers in multiple areas where they understand their markets more than us, for them to go and get us clients. Okay, so we have partners in KSA, we have partner in South Africa, we have a partner in Canada who are actively promoting our product to get us clients. And the third avenue is partnerships with other platforms. So we realized that there are some
Okay.
successful platforms that are interested to partner with us to offer to their customers something that their customers don't have access to now. So we've done partnership with a system called Hubrise in France, which already opened up the European market for us because they are pretty big. We've done a partnership with a platform called DeliverAct, which is one of the main platforms in the food delivery business.
Right.
And this is also giving us more exposure. So it's a combination of multiple things that we are doing, from social media to partners to even cold calling, using networks that we can leverage, personal network that we can leverage to find those clients.
Okay. Do you want to add something to it?
No, I was very impressed that you said you saw that the graphic, Mahmoud, and it says word of mouth doesn't have, it decays over time, right? The network doesn't always go out.
I was
Because
paying
there
attention.
are no reviews.
Yeah. It's got friction in it. Impedance, right? From the electric
I
engineering
think
days.
the fact you can't have customer reviews in the case of Eddress. How would the customer, because his
Yeah, it's a
eventual
it's a
ultimate
B2B,
customer
it's hidden.
is B2B.
Yeah, it's
But
hidden.
we have testimonials that so when in B2B and in software in general, there are some platforms, comparison platforms.
Comparison platforms.
So you go and you post your company, and then you have your customers go and review you, like a G4 and G2 and some other platforms. So we do ask our customers to go and review. There are some negative, there are some positives. But generally, myself, when I want to evaluate a product, I go to those platforms. I see what people are saying. I see their reviews. So this does exist.
Okay, okay.
So,
In the form of comparisons by professional magazines or professional websites, rather than testimonials of customers.
Yes, so the customer has to actually go and register with that website, post, they validate their accounts, and then post a review. So if someone doesn't want to go through the process of spending 30 minutes to do this, they will not do it. So the ones that you see are genuine. Someone has, and you can validate their accounts, you can validate who they are, their profiles.
it's curated.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
One question I had on that front is that, your customer base looks like are companies like Carrefour or, I don't know, like Spinneys.
Fahad
Not-
supermarket.
For instance, but not mom and pop grocery stores. So in other words, they have to have some system already to add your system on top of it or in the middle of it. Or
Yes, and someone who has enough finance to invest in an operation. Because to run as this system, you need to have warehouses, you need to have drivers, you need to have people running the warehouse. So usually when we look at leads, we look for businesses that have 3 to 5 branches, who typically have enough cash to go and invest in an operation. So this is the kind of businesses we are looking for.
I remember
Fleet and
when Mahmoud said, do you know your customers like the back of your hand? So he now knows his customers like the back of his hand.
Which is very good. Yeah, very important.
George, what made you join the Triple S program, and what were your expectations before and after, as you were saying earlier? And you can tell us about your experience during the course, your aha moments, your...
There is an internal joke that we always say about this. I was when the company joined the program, I was the only one who was left in Beirut. So everyone has moved to Canada. So I was asked to represent the company in this program, which really I did not have the time for, and I didn't really enjoy the fact that I had to commit multiple months for the program.
You were the COO at the time.
Correct.
And now the CEO, but we'll talk about it later.
Correct. Correct. So, but then what I thought about, probably one thing that I can gain personally is, getting in touch with the AUB network, getting to know other businesses, other companies, and actually this already opened a lot of doors for the business for us, being in the program.
Hala, you'll give us examples, because I think Dr. Bijan would love to hear about this.
Yes, definitely, we can do that. But I can tell you,
Networking, George keeps saying networking, and I keep asking him, tell us more about your networking at this program.
networking, the people I've met are people that I have now I'm communicating with outside the program. From the businesses, from the mentors, from even other people within the AUB ecosystem, I'm now actively engaging on other initiatives. So
At AUB.
At AUB. So we gained a lot from this aspect. Even
Wow.
we have friendship to this group of people we were in the program. We are friends outside the program now. So, and they all have their own networks, and we are recommending for each other different vendors, partners. So it's a very interesting dynamic that was created.
But you were not expecting this initially? I mean, your initial expectations when you first joined.
I joined for this purpose.
You joined
for this purpose. This is when I accepted to take part personally, was to take advantage of this one. But then, being honest, the first session we had, there were some things that were said that triggered a lot of things in me, and making me think about, what we are doing. And if I want to summarize what this program had done, is kind of it pulled us out from our day-to-day work, and made us think about the business, what we are doing right, what we are doing wrong, and made us realize that there are things that has to change. So and the good thing is that we were able to implement the change very quickly. Okay, so from we reduced headcount by a huge number. We restructured the company. We restructured our marketing. We restructured our leadership. We even restructured our vision, our value proposition. And I think the last session we had, we were talking about different things, and I really was able in that day to connect everything that we have gone through for 6 months. And at that point, I understood what each module had, what part each module played in the final outcome.
Wow.
Because on its own, you think that, yes, this day triggered something, but then when you think of it of a whole, like a lot of things changed in 6 months. And like, I'm proud to say that we were able to implement those changes very quickly. One thing that personally that I like about myself is that I am not afraid of admitting of where we're going wrong, what the mistakes we're making, things that we're not good at, and try to focus on what we are good at. And in the mentoring sessions, I think I was probably as transparent as anyone can be with the mentors about our business and about what we are doing. And this gave us a reality check internally about different things we are doing, and everyone was convinced that we needed to change, and we created this change, and now we are reaping the benefits of it today with our especially with our marketing, our lead generation. So 6-7 leads per day today from having very little a few months back.
Yeah.
And personally, if I look at the different modules, I can really look at it today as a framework for scaling a business. If you really want to scale, you can put that deck of 15-20 slides and fill each slide, and then by the end, when you complete it, you'll figure out that this is my plan. This is what I need to do.
Wow.
And I think I recommended to
Dr. Bijan
that one extension of this program could be actually a PowerPoint deck, a template that gets given to the participant at the end, that they are asked to fill, because this will be their growth plan. So it can maybe it takes you 2 days to do it. You fill out in 2 days, and that's your plan that you're probably going to need months and months to think about it yourself, because you are busy running your business.
We're coming back to him very soon. We're going to take you up on that. That's great.
Which module you benefited most from? I mean, we had the strategy, we had the operations, we have marketing and sales, we had the human resources.
Can I amend that question?
Yes.
I would like you to answer what excited you more about about a topic that really excited you, and then what another one that had most impact on the business after.
Would that cover aha moment?
Something, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The aha moment for me was the one of the sessions when we were asked about the value proposition and unique selling proposition.
Very difficult topics.
Yeah, and when it takes you a bit of time to think about it, you know that you have a problem to fix.
That strategy, Dr. Bijan?
It was actually post the strategy in the operation. How do we operationalize our strategy?
How to? Oh, wow. Philosophical.
And being an operational guy, this was a topic that I'm really interested in.
And I think I see Eddress as operations mainly.
Yeah.
We'll come to marketing and strategy in a minute, but
I like him to. I like George really to elaborate something he said. I really liked because George has a lot of stories to tell, and that's quite useful for the audience to hear, but also for us to understand how these companies work. But I think also George brings a couple of unique things that I like to put words in his mouth, but maybe he will agree, he doesn't agree. One is that because he's CEO, he has the power to implement. One. Two, I think he's on the lookout. I could see like he hears some things and he slacks his teams on the Slack. We need to look at this. And then the third thing was that he's very down to earth and also reflects. You know, I think people in senior position need to have some kind of a reflexive or reflection that they are able to look back and say, yeah, you know, we are not doing this, we're doing this right. And he's very open about that. And then I want to link that to the fact that you told us, you told me, and I was very happy to hear that. You said, we realized that we are spending a lot of time on marketing. Our marketing spend is quite high, but it's not resulting. So, and then based on the session of sales and marketing, but then subsequent operation, we actually looked and said, it's the problem of closing the sales. Sales kind of linger. And because they're not closed, customers lose interest and our team becomes kind of distracted. So can you elaborate? I feel like these are all, I mean, are they making sense? I feel like these are more from the outside what I'm hearing.
Yeah, look, I think I was lucky to be in a place where I can influence change within the company. So the things that we were going through triggered a lot of thinking, and being an operational person, I understood what needs to be done very quickly. And how to implement it. So we went and implemented a complete business ecosystem that is all connected, all digitized, all electronic, linking all our different tools from the support to the CRM to the tech platforms. So we created an interconnected company. So I have the information about everyone. I know the life of every person, every customer, from when they were leads to when they became a deal to when they became a customer. So I had this whole visibility into them, and also we were getting feedback about why we're not closing deals. So we start collecting feedback, integrating those feedback into how we are selling. We optimized all the touch points with the customers. Our sales process had 4 or 5 touch points, and we reduced it to 1. Because we realized that there's some redundant things that usually, maybe are contributing to us not closing the deals because it's taking too long to get to the customer. And there's something that Mahmoud mentioned on one of the sessions, was that if you don't get the commitment from the customer while you are on the call with them, it's very unlikely that they're going to commit after. So we need to end the sales call with a kind of commitment that, yes, I want the solution, so the next steps become easier. But for us, it was very lengthy. We were not getting commitment. So those little things.
How to close the deal was an important
it's just, you know, when you create something, you feel that you created the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go and you create processes and procedures, and you think, yes, this is how I want to do something, because this is what I think is best. And then you don't review it, or you don't really see where this process is failing. Are we creating overheads by these processes? Yeah. Is it becoming too much for the team? So one of them was the sales cycle and the touch points. Like, we created them because we thought this is what will get us the most engagement from the lead. And then we realized, no, you know what? Probably not. This is probably what's contributing for us not closing the deal. So we removed steps. And then there's something that's always said, us in operation, should not optimize something that should not exist. So should this exist or not? If it doesn't exist, remove it and then continue optimizing.
I have a question to Mahmoud, actually. Eddress is a SaaS module, basically, software as a service. So they have this recurring income. Can you explain a little bit about LTV, the long-term value of a customer, marketing, and the relation between the two in the context of a SaaS setup?
Yeah, sure. Let's say first, what's the objective of why do you market your brand? Why do you do it? Is it just to create leads and to change those leads into customers? Well, you are thinking of making the business sustainable over the long term. That's why you put in those efforts. When you look at a customer, one of the mistakes that usually salespeople and marketeers make is that this idea of let's hit and run. So I have a sale, let me make the sale, make some profits, and khalas, it's okay. I don't need to follow up. I don't need to check on what's going on, what are the feedback, stuff like this. And this is not sustainable over the long term, because to make it takes much more effort, much more investment to create a new customer than to resell someone who has already.
No, I mean in the context of a SaaS.
Yeah.
Okay, his customer is a repeat customer, so you have to keep them. The sustainability of the incoming revenue
Sure.
is very important, but you have to keep improving your service. You have to.
Yeah, sometimes it's not just to keep improving your service. It's more like it's about the relationship you're creating with this customer. Is this a relationship where you are building trust, where this customer wants to keep buying from you because you follow up, you are consistent in delivering the high quality service or product? All of these are parts of are parts of the things that the customer will think about, whether he wants to buy from you again or not. And at the same time, it's about the competition. If you are whatever, if you are a SaaS or another organization, you have always to keep in mind that you are not operating alone. You are operating within a landscape of competitors. There are competitors, and you don't know what they are doing. You don't know those competitors how if they are trying to target your customers to take them from you. Your mindset should always be a competitive one, in the sense that you have to keep engaging those customers, keep this contact with them that's continuous, but continuously build this relationship based on trust. This is very important to keep those customers. Otherwise, they will leave you and they will go for another competitor. So irrespective whether is it a SaaS or any other business, these are basic things that you should keep doing. And this is what usually people forget. So people think that it's not about the basic. Now it's about the elaborated systems and technologies. These are very important. The systems, the technologies, but always go to basic.
I don't know.
About the relationship.
I personally feel the long-term value of a customer is more important in the case of a SaaS system, because
a long-term value of a customer is very important across any business. It's very important for you to know his long-term value, so you would know what to do, what to invest, how to market, how to brand your product or service, because this is what will give you like an indicator of how much to invest, how much to do this. If the long-term value is high enough, then this will somehow free you into being more willing to invest and to put in the money for marketing and branding and stuff like this. So long-term value is essential for the success of any organization, because these are the customers are going to make you keep a sustained business and keep you going, not continuously creating new customers. You do, but you keep your old ones.
George, any comments on this? And I'll let you answer that particular. I was going to ask you about the average life of a customer of Eddress. They stay with you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
Today is
the longest serving customer.
Today is about the average about 3 years.
3 years.
The longest serving customer is 7 years.
The longest.
Okay.
So you have a customer who's been with you,
yes,
paying a monthly fee over a 7-year period.
Yes, and the challenge that we have in SaaS with the customers is that. Our industry, especially in our grocery food delivery industry, it's impacted a lot by technology.
Yeah.
So you need to continue to evolve as a business and create new features and create new things for the customers for you to retain them. And especially today, it's becoming much easier to create platforms. It's not the same as 5 years ago. So if you're not innovating enough and you're not evolving quick enough, your customers will go to competitors. Especially when there are some competitors who they raise $400 million, $500 million. So we are competing with businesses that they have enough funds. So for us, the challenge is which feature that we can create that will make the most impact on our customers so we can retain them and get new customers. And this is something it's very delicate, choosing what you need to build. Sometimes there's no research, especially now in the AI era where, AI is the thing. Okay, you have to figure out how you're gonna integrate this AI into your product. And we are testing a lot of features today, from being we're moving data analysis from being about graphs and pie charts into a chat, a natural language chat, where you would chat with a tool that can generate insight for you about your data. And this is our biggest challenge today in extending the lifetime value of our customers. Like, can we innovate enough to keep those customers long enough?
Mahmoud, I remember once you saying marketing is strategy. Now that George has made it to become the CEO of Eddress, do you think marketing should report directly to him? Should marketing be in the hands of the CEO, or it should be in the hands of, let's say, a chief marketing officer, or somebody else? Sorry.
Yeah. I strongly believe that in a specialization. No matter how George, how much capable he is of the marketing, I would definitely advise him to find someone who is willing to take all the marketing in his mind, so he would be free to take more strategic decisions with respect to the progress of the company and the future of the company. So, but definitely he will be dotted to him. He will continuously
dotted, not solid reporting.
Solid or dotted, it will depend on George's time and efforts. I don't know. What do you think, George? Which one do you prefer?
Obviously, I'm not an expert in marketing, so usually you would like to have experts, but reality is that you cannot always have enough financial capabilities to hire experts in everything, especially in a startup where you have to wear multiple hats, you have to experiment a lot of things. But what we are doing is that we are outsourcing certain parts of the marketing that we don't know how to do. Okay, so we kind of getting it at a reasonable cost for us, while the biggest contribution is still from us as a team, and a big part, another small, an okay part by an outsourcing partner. So we are collaborating together. Now the good thing is that we listen to the partner because he's an expert. So we listen about the things we should do, but definitely the CEO drives the strategy of what the company needs to do. Or even our messaging, which I think is something that's super important, is something driven by the CEO.
Okay, I tell you, in our case at Pep Steel Group, initially marketing used to report to the director of sales and marketing. But when I learned that marketing is strategy, I made sure that marketing reports directly to me. Anyhow, off the air, Dr. Bijan, off the air, George loves the course, the Triple S program.
So that means we have to take it off. They can't record part of this.
And he recommends it to other companies, the ones who really want to grow and scale up. So I asked him, do you think future companies should pay for the course? He said, definitely.
Well,
do you agree with him?
But first of all, I added something to it. I added something to it.
As long as the fees are reasonable.
As long as it's reasonable.
First of all, we are happy with the Eddress participation. And I have to say, I remember the first day I met George, he was lukewarm towards. I remember when he joined the opening session, we had no sessions and it was forthcoming. And we shook hands and said hi, and he said, "Yes, we want to work with you." Oh, okay, and he was a little better than going to the dentist, So, but after the first session, I think second session, we had a chat, and he actually was very positive, and he said, "I'm really happy I'm here," and then actually progressively every time I talked to him, and then it kind of solidified when we had mentoring sessions, and I think that's where it became clear. And I think George is one of the leading, definitely, of the companies taking the program seriously, but also you can tell he wants to implement what he learns in the so-called classroom.
He attended every session.
Yeah, but also he wants to implement. And I feel like very few people send a Slack message and saying, by the way, we need to look at this. So, it's like, but so I think that definitely for us is a plus through and through. And definitely
they've implemented many of the
so I feel like this
really,
this is wonderful,
really
and this is
impressive.
music to our ear, and in fact I think you are set to grow.
George, I want to hear it from you. You are going to double your revenue. We usually say the time frame is 3 to 5. I have a feeling you will double it before. Oh my God! Wow, that's music to
Yes.
Dr. Bijan's and Mahmoud's and my ears, really.
Yes.
And I feel you'll make it, honestly. Really, your passion, your dedication, your learning, you've learned, you've absorbed everything the course had to give.
Look, everyone
Mentoring sessions, he never missed a session, actually.
Very
George.
true.
Actually, we're the first to finish.
I remember he asked
He
for
asked
more.
for more.
Look, we have a very positive mindset within the company. Everyone is empowered. Everyone has an opinion. They can voice their concerns. We are being very agile, very dynamic. Something that that I like to always say that we'd like to fail fast. We try things. We make sure.
Fail fast. This is Dr. Bijan's famous.
No, I know one of the things we want.
If you want to fail fast. Cut your costs, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel today that everything within the company is aligned. From marketing to technology to management, we are all aligned about what we are doing. And this is already, we are seeing the impact, and I know it's going to be exponential. So once we, the next couple of months where things will really be in order, then growth will happen very quickly.
Okay, great. Gentlemen, we're running short of time. I'm very sorry. It's a very interesting episode. Sales, marketing, Eddress, in the presence of Dr. Bijan. I think we've covered many aspects of marketing and sales and branding. I would have liked us to talk a little bit more about branding, but the time is, we're running out of time. So I'd like to thank you for today's session, and I wish George Alam at the helm of Eddress best of luck and success. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.